What's going on, guys? How you doing? In today's video, we are starting Queen's first album. Wow. Why am I doing this one? I thought that you took a poll and this wasn't listed and all this stuff. Yeah, that happened, but I just wanted to start with the first album. I don't know why. I was just like, why would I start with the fifth album or the seventh album or whatever when I've never even heard the first album? So that's why I'm like, you know what, this might be interesting. Let me just check out their first album. I'll start there. I'm not saying I'm doing a whole discography. I'm not doing that. I may do the first 8 albums. I may not. I may just do the first album. I don't know. That's where I'm at, because I know I'm gonna get those questions, but that's what's happening. Today we're starting the first album. If you're new here, please subscribe. Check out my videos, all kinds of videos, reaction videos, bass videos, music videos, stuff like that. Check it out. All kinds of stuff in the description. Check it out. I do donation requests. All that information is in the description. Thank you, guys. And yes, I am back from California, from the gig that I did last week. I know that I just got back, right? And I'm like, oh, there's a whole lot of holes. My schedule is completely empty in terms of video. So I'm like, man, I need to get to work. I need to get to work. I mean, being away for a week kind of pulled me out of that, but I had to do it, right? I know that I have a bunch of donation requests to do, videos to do, and that's coming. There's one person that sent me a donation that there was nothing. There was no words, there was nothing. It was just the donation and that's it. So I don't know if you wanted something. The person's name is Andrew. I don't know if it was just a, hey man, thanks, you're cool, or if there's a request that you wanted. So if your name is Andrew, and I got your whole name, so don't just random Andrews, don't just random Andrews try something, right? I got your whole name, right, because it came through. And if there's something that you want or that you wanted, and for some reason I'm not seeing it, can you email me, jpanreadsemail@gmail.com? Let me know. Thank you. Okay, and everybody else I'm going to get to you. But for today, Queen's first album. All right, Queen, 1970. London. Wow. Incredible. Earliest works were influenced by prog rock, hard rock, and heavy metal, but the band gradually ventured into more conventional and radio-friendly works by incorporating further styles such as arena rock and pop rock. Before forming Queen, May and Taylor had played together in the band Smile. Mercury was a fan of Smile and encouraged them to experiment with more elaborate stage and recording techniques. He joined in 1970 and suggested the name Queen. Deacon was recruited in February 1971 before the band released their self-titled debut in 1973, which is what we are starting today. Queen first charted in the UK with their second album, Queen 2, in 1974. Sheer Heart Attack later that year, and A Night at the Opera in 1975 brought them international success. In February 1971, John Deacon joined Queen. In addition to being an experienced bassist, his quiet demeanor complemented the band and he was skilled in electronics. On July 2nd, Queen played their first show with the classic lineup of Mercury, May, Taylor, and Deacon at a Surrey college outside London. May called Terry Yaden, an engineer at Pi Studios where Smile had recorded, to see if he knew anywhere where Queen could go. Yaden had since moved to Delane Leia Studios, new premises in Wembley, and they needed a group to test out the equipment in recording rooms. He tried asking the Kinks but couldn't get a hold of them. Therefore, he told Queen they could record some demos in exchange for the studio's acoustic tests. They recorded 5 of their own songs: Liar, Keep Yourself Alive, Great King Rat, The Night Comes Down, and Jesus. During the recording, John Anthony visited the band with Roy Thomas Baker. The two were taken with Keep Yourself Alive and began promoting the band to several record companies. Promoter Ken Testy managed to attract the interest of Charisma Records, who offered Queen an advance of around £25,000, but the group turned them down as they realized the label would promote Genesis as a priority. Testy then entered discussions with Trident Studios' Norman Sheffield, who offered the band a management deal under Neptune Productions, a subsidiary of Trident, to manage the band and enable them to use their facilities, whilst the management searched for a deal. This suited both parties, as Trident were expanding into management, and under the deal, Queen were able to make use of the high-tech recording facilities used by signed musicians. Taylor later described these early off-peak studio hours as gold dust. That's cool, very cool. Queen began 1972 with a gig at Bedford College, London, where only 6 people turned up. After a few more shows, they stopped live performances for 8 months to work on the album with Anthony and Baker. During the sessions at Trident, they saw David Bowie with the Spiders from Mars live and realized they needed to make an impact with the album, otherwise they would be left behind. Co-producers Anthony and Baker initially clashed with the band, May in particular, on the direction of the album, bringing the band's inexperience in the studio to bear. The band's fighting centered around the efforts to integrate technical perfection with the reality of live performances, leading to what Baker referred to as kitchen sink overproduction. Okay, alright. The resulting album was a mix of heavy metal and prog rock. The group were unhappy with the re-recording of The Night Comes Down, so the finished album uses the Delane Leia demo. Another track, Mad the Swine, was dropped from the running order after the band and Baker could not agree on a mix. Mike Stone created the final mix for Keep Yourself Alive, and he would go on to work on several other Queen albums. By January 1972, the band finished recording their debut album, but had yet to secure a record contract. In order to attract record company interest, Trident booked a showcase gig on November 6th at the Pheasantry, followed by a show at the Marquee Club on December 20th. Queen promoted the unreleased album in February 1973 on BBC Radio 1, still unsigned. The following month, Trident managed to strike a deal with EMI Records. Keep Yourself Alive was released as a single on July 6th, with the album Queen appearing a week later. Front cover showed a shot of Mercury live on stage taken by Taylor's friend Douglas Puttyfoot. Deacon was credited as Deacon John, while Taylor used his full name, Roger Meadows Taylor. The album was received well by critics. Gordon Fletcher of Rolling Stone called it superb, and Chicago's Daily Herald called it an above-average debut. However, it drew little mainstream attention, and Keep Yourself Alive sold poorly. Retrospectively, it is cited as the album's highlight, and in 2008, Rolling Stone ranked it 31st in the 100 greatest guitar songs of all time, describing it as an entire album's worth of riffs crammed into a single song. The album was certified gold in the UK and US. Okay, cool. So on this album, the lyrics are based on a variety of topics including folklore, My Fairy King, and religion, Jesus. Lead singer Freddie Mercury wrote 5 of the 10 tracks. Lead guitarist Brian May wrote 4, including Doing All Right, which he co-wrote with Tim Staffelwild in the band Smile. And drummer Roger Taylor both wrote and sang Modern Times Rock and Roll. Final song on the album is a short instrumental version of Seven Seas of Rye, the full version of which would appear on the band's second album, Queen 2. Process of recording only during studio downtime, late evenings or overnight, lasted from April to November 1972. Roger Taylor recalled, "You could see the working girls at night through their lace curtains, so while we were mixing, we would have a little bit of diversion. The limitations of this arrangement led the band to focus on completing one track at a time, but problems arose almost immediately. The band had thought highly of their Delane Leia demo tracks, but producer Roy Thomas Baker had them re-record the songs with better equipment. Keep Yourself Alive was the first song to be re-recorded, and Queen did not like the results. They began it again." This is like among the problems when bands have these demos that they get attached to, and then they send it to somebody else to get mixed, or like to, you know, just different things like that. It could be a demo, or it could be like a rough mix of something that's recorded, and then they get it back and it's not what they're thinking. You know, the problem has to do with the attachment to the rough mix or the demo. That kind of thing happens kind of a lot. Kind of happens a lot. So they recorded it again, but no mix met their standards. After 7 or 8 failed attempts, engineer Mike Stone stepped in, and his first try met with Queen's approval. Okay? Stone would stay on to engineer and eventually co-produce their next 5 albums. May later commented that between Roy and I, we were fighting the whole time to find a place where we had the perfection, but also the reality of performance and sound. Okay, so the first track that we're doing, the one that we're doing right now, is Keep Yourself Alive. Brian May wrote Keep Yourself Alive after the band had been formed, but before John Deacon joined, as confirmed by former bass player Barry Mitchell on an unofficial question and answer session held in an online forum. Good job. Okay, according to May, in a radio special about their 1977 album News of the World, he had penned the lyrics thinking of them as ironic and tongue-in-cheek, but their sense was completely changed when Mercury sang them. Taylor and May sing the vocal bridge of the song. Former bassist and the band themselves recalled that Mercury might have helped on the musical arrangements based on the fact that the band were in a more collaborative period in the pre-studio days, and he usually got his way with structural ideas. While it is highly possible that he contributed ideas to the song, the modulation types and the expanded form are closer to his style than to May's. Even in that case, Mercury would be more a co-arranger than a co-writer per se, like George Martin on the Beatles songs. Okay. Whatever, that's cool. That's what we're checking out, though, is Keep Yourself Alive. All right, I believe this is a remaster, but we're going to check it out. Let's do it. Bam. Does kind of have that rough first album kind of sound. Not that it's bad, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not clean, really. Like, listen to those drums. They're there, but the guitars are way out front.
Well, I loved a million women in a Belladonna case, and I had a million dinners brought to me on silver tray. See, everything I need to feed my body and my soul. Well, I grow a little bigger, maybe that can be my goal. I was told a million times of all the people in my way how I had to keep on trying and get better every day. But if I crossed a million rivers and I rode a million miles, then I'll still be where I started, the same as when I started. Keep yourself alive. Come on. Keep yourself alive. It would take you all your time and the money, and you'll survive.
Wow. First song and the single's got a drum break, solo break kind of thing. Alright, oh yeah, that sounds like it. Is that vocal? Was that vocal? Right?
Oh, take you all your time and the money to keep me satisfied.
Yeah. Very cool.
Do you think you're better every day? No, I just think I'll just run through my grave. Keep yourself alive.
Come on.
Keep yourself alive.
You take your time and take my money. Keep yourself alive.
Keep yourself alive.
Right.
Keep yourself alive.
Money is deeper. Keep yourself alive.
Keep yourself alive.
Come on,
Keep
come
yourself
on.
alive.
Take you all your time and the money. Keep me satisfied.
Keep yourself alive. Keep yourself alive.
Money
Wow.
is deeper. Keep yourself alive. Take you all your time and money, you will survive.
I like that. That's cool. There's a lot. I mean, you know, you do hear Queen in it. You hear Queen in it between the vocals and the guitar, and also you're already hearing John Deacon bass stuff. Not like crazy, but even just him making the changes where Brian May is just chugging along, where usually those roles would be reversed. right? Usually it would be the bass that's just chugging along and guitar maybe changing over that. But this was the opposite. I like this. I like this. There was a lot of cool parts. For sure. I like that whole guitar solo thing where you got the harmonized lead going. That's cool. Definitely Queen. Definitely sounds like Queen. Very cool. Yeah. See, this is among the reasons why I'm like, I need to listen to the first album. Really. Like, let me just go at the start. Like, yes, okay, the quality maybe like kind of, you know, they're working the overnight shift to get free studio time, all that kind of thing, right? Working deals just to get in a good studio. That's great, you know. That gets them in. So that's fantastic. But yeah, some of it's a little bit rough. There are parts where the drum sounded, you know, there were, you hear how even after I brought up how the drums sounded, like how they sounded at that point, then it changed, and especially like when it came to just the drums break, right? When it was like a drum solo break or whatever. Yeah, there was different things and how they sounded in the mix at different parts. Overall, it was good though. I liked the song. I thought it was cool. I've never heard this. I don't think I've ever heard any song on this album, as far as I know. This will be completely new to me. Looks cool though. Sounds cool. Like it. Looks cool. I'm saying that because just looking at this cover here. But yeah, sounds cool. Great. All right. On to the next one. Doing all right. Up next. Catch you then.